Hour and a half of nonstop NBA DFS conversation. It starts now, taking you up the lock tonight, which is very, very strange. 7:30 is the first game tipping off on an 8-game slate. You don't always say that too often, but that's just how the schedule is this evening. It's kind of weird because 8 games tonight, and I think 7 of the 8 start between 7:30 and 8:30. And then we have the I1 game tonight, which of course is probably one of the biggest one for implications when it comes to the in-season tournament, which is kind of going to drive part of the conversation for tonight. Golden State at Sacramento, high and tight. 236 is a total at the Golden One Center. Will the beam get lit? I did go ahead and tweet out. I built a little tweet, kind of a cheat sheet, Kirkwood, and I know you're on top of this as well, but like what every team needs. 16 teams playing. Mathematically, 12 are still alive, but not, theoretically only 10, I guess, actually have a chance. We'll talk about that as we go. Actually, 5 are knocked out. Toronto, Chicago, Dallas, Charlotte, and OKC. OKC kind of a bummer. That'd be a fun team to watch in the tournament. Cleveland and Atlanta both need a miracle. Sacramento and Houston making it easy. Sacramento, if they light that beam, they're in the tournament. Houston, they're taking on Dallas. If they win, they're in as well. And then a couple teams we kind of touched on at pre-show, Boston and New York, they got to win, and they got to win big. They got to smash. They got to throw it in their opponents' faces and dunk on them when they're up 25-30. And it's weird because we saw, like, DeRozan talk. He was upset that, he was mad last time the Bulls are getting smashed, and the other team was still trying to score on them. But, this is the tournament. This is the rules. And Boston, I assume, is going to play by the rules, and point differential is a tiebreaker. And I think, despite being a 14-point favorite now, I think teams like Boston and New York also a massive favorite against Charlotte. Charlotte without Ball. Is that what we're expecting? Are we expecting these teams to be sharp and smart? And Tibbs doesn't take his guys out anyway. That's like a 90-point lead with 3 minutes to go. But that's what we're expecting, right? That's part of the driving force when it comes to the show tonight.
Yeah, there's too many ins and outs to all these things. You're going to be much more up on that than me. I made a list too to prepare me. I just wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that I think are going to be severely motivated to run up the score. And that would be Boston, New York Knicks, Minnesota, Houston, and the Nets. That's what I wrote down. I might be wrong. There might be other teams that are, but those are the ones that I've focused on to try to make it easy.
So, win and need help. Win and need help is Golden State, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Brooklyn, Miami. Golden State just needs Minnesota to lose. And the thing is, they'll know. Golden State's going to know after the first quarter or so, if Minnesota won or lost. Now, there is another path. The path isn't very good, and they'll probably know where they stand in that as well, because, again, that's kind of an island game. But, the Heat need a lot of help. They're without Jimmy Butler, and they're taking on Milwaukee, so that's pretty tricky. Milwaukee's motivated to win. They would be involved, I think, in a point differential thing, but they're not a win and in. They absolutely need help as well, but they are going to be motivated to I don't think they have a point differential motivation, Milwaukee. I'm not sure if you ran them off. They just need, win-loss stuff to work out in their favor, which, but just beat Miami is what their task is tonight. We did see Holiday get ruled in as far as, the guys that were sort of monitoring. Derek White was dealing with an illness. He's available as well and good to go. Middleton expected to play for Milwaukee. Levine expected to play as well tonight. Not a lot of injuries that are up in the air as we speak. Let me see. Is there any that are questionable? Derek Lively, which is not a big questionable, but is that the big one? There's really... We're going to call it the big one. I think Rashawn Holmes started last time, but I don't know how much he's going to factor in. But, of course, it's the association and things are going to change. But where we're at right now, Kirkwood, I don't think there's not a lot that we have our eye on. It's like, oh, well, if this piece falls, that may fall. Are you seeing something that I'm missing?
No, there's nothing. We've got has Middleton been announced yet?
Yes. So he just got that 5 minutes ago. Caruso is in 5 minutes ago.
Nothing else.
Levine
Nothing else.
really,
nothing. Yeah, nothing else matters.
Haywood Highsmith ruled out for Miami is interesting. Jaime Jaquez was already an interesting piece. We'll see. Miami, we're currently projecting Lowry, Richardson, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez, and Bam Adebayo to draw the start there. But they're going to be pretty thin. Not a great matchup, but I think Jaime Jaquez might be one of the best mid-tier plays on this slate, but we're going to talk through it. You got crunch time coming in about they're top of the hour, so about 50 minutes or so. It's Keith Eyster, as well as TJ Zwarych. You guys know TJ as one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. And also you got Kevin Roth holding it down. Do want to say what's up and hello to the chat. Kindly hit that like button. Subscribe, sure. Since you're hitting buttons, subscribe. And turn on those notifications so you know when we go live. And I know some people in the Discord, hey, why are they not on just yet? Because of the schedule. And, you didn't get the notification just yet, but now you got it 8 minutes ago. Anything else you want to say here, Kirkwood, as far as a broad outlook when it comes to this slate before we do the game-by-game deal? Getting I'm refreshing stuff and seeing. I want to get the most recent batch of ownership, the most recent batch of projections on Lineup HQ. But unless you got anything else, we'll do the old game by game.
No, I think this is a slate with a decent edge tonight, but we could also blow up in our face, and we could look like these teams may not care, even though we expect them to care. But you got to think that. With Tibbs, you can tell a coach like Tibbs, right? That guy wants to win a freaking heads or tails coin toss outside, or anything that is competitive. And he will probably push his guys. And so you can feel pretty comfortable there. But the Celtics, I'm there's still a little part of me that doesn't know how much they care about it. Obviously, the bench guys like Peyton Pritchard and Banton, guys 500,000 probably means a lot to them. To Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, $500,000 doesn't probably mean anything to them. But if they thought about it in the way
they want to win.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, but you said that, and then they just got blown out in a game. You know what I mean? To be put into this situation. It could blow up in our faces, but I'll tell you what I've been doing all afternoon I've been doing single game parlays with Jalen Brunson, Randall, Tatum, Brown. I've just been going through, putting in single game parlays everywhere. But I hope I don't go broke tonight.
I have a lot of money in play as well too in the sportsbook stuff. And one of my off the board calls, we're gonna do hot takes. I'll put it in layaway, but I'll just tell you this: I did bet somebody to triple double tonight that you wouldn't necessarily think. It's not like the first goal.
Şengün.
You know me too well. Did you bet it as well?
No, that makes sense, and I know you.
Yeah, because I think there's a chance we see. We'll talk about it. I think there's a chance he plays 30.
But you know what? If we go broke, guess what Saturday is? Guess what Saturday is?
What is there's college football on Saturday? Is it Iowa?
Yeah,
we could bet Iowa again.
We're not doing that. What is Saturdays? You have one Saturday off, and now you forget about me after giving you winner after winner.
Oh, it's MMA Saturday. We got more fights.
Yeah, we have a huge UFC card that we are gonna be you are gonna want to be a platinum member. I'm just gonna tell you that now. You're gonna want the platinum plus.
I will be sliding into the DMs on Saturday for sure. 5 of the 8 games start on the dot, 7:30. So you got to be on top of things. There's no backloading allowed. Very first game we're talking about is Charlotte and New York. 221 is the total. New York, about a 13-point favorite here. Again, we talked about Charlotte without their best player, LaMelo Ball. Nick Richards is still out as well. New York, fully healthy. They want to smash. They're in good position to smash here. Again, they have to win, and they got to win big. They got to win by 20, 25 points. They got to put up a big spot to move on and play that in-season tournament. Ownership-wise, what is popping on DK? It's pretty flat. Surprisingly, to me at least, RJ Barrett's the most popular play at 5'9", 21%. Brandon Miller on the other side is getting 14. As far as the other New York players, Randall, 14%, Brunson, 14%. I'm good with both of those guys. Again, we're projecting 36, 37 minutes. You really can't project much more, but maybe they play 38, 39. Maybe we get the playoff stuff. You never know. And Quickly is one of my kind of sort of off the board because he's a guy, if you need somebody to score some points, and if for whatever reason, maybe they're not going full throttle, but Quickly is the guy who probably sticks around the entire time unless it just gets completely out of hand. How much you prioritize in New York? You're with me. sounds like you're with me. You like the Knicks. They're not cheap. Brunson and Randall, are they priority pieces? Are they guys you're happy to have? Where are you at as far as New York?
Yeah, they're priority pieces. They're I've been single game parlaying them as well. I think there's huge minute ceiling upside here with Tibbs in this spot. Quickly is the guy I've been like floating around in my head today, like thinking like, well, if they want to run up the score, like as opposed to like Quentin Grimes playing defense, a guy like Quickly who can just hammer offense would make more sense. So maybe he gets more minutes tonight, but maybe not. Maybe it's just all their starting five. You know what I mean? They just push, and we get close to 40 minutes on these guys, which would be awesome. And quite frankly, that's kind of what I'm expecting. But so yeah, they're definitely priorities. I love Randall and I love Brunson. It's a matchup against Charlotte too, on top of it,
Yeah, the tricky one as far as the Charlotte side to me a little bit is Terry Rozier. He came back from injury, played a ton of minutes, and Charlotte just can't have nice things. They can't have Ball and Rozier playing together. Once Rozier comes back, Ball gets hurt. Now it's Rozier's world. We are giving him 37 minutes. I think there's some blowout risk in that, where it could be like 31-32. If you want to do a little game stack, though, if you think this game stays tight, certainly can. I don't mind Rozier. I'm a little bit concerned again about the blowout risk. Miller expected 34 minutes, so tight rotation. He was going to take a hit with Ball being gone. His minutes are now solidified. I like Mark Williams. This is not a Mark Williams spot for me. Just New York is too good on the inside. They do not yield points on the inside. And, he's a center. He's not cheap. So it's a pass for me as far as Mark Williams. But I do think Rozier is an interesting little run back. If this game is close, it's probably because of him. Bridges is fine. It's just like, you got to pay for him. I don't know if I'm paying $8K for Bridges. I just think I'm using my money elsewhere. It's not a great matchup against New York. So what do you got as far as Charlotte?
Yeah, so Charlotte doesn't have anything to play for. So Charlotte's not a priority tonight. But if you want to play some guys, the guy who would be the best is Terry Rozier, right? Just because from the role standpoint, Brandon Miller is good because he's cheaper. Gordon Hayward is going to get some ownership, I think, maybe.
No. We currently have Hayward for 3%. I think Fanduel he's got a better price. Yeah, Fanduel's got a better price.
Yeah, that would scare the crap out of me playing
32% on Fanduel where he's 5'7". Yeah. I didn't mean to talk over you. I'm sorry, but
good luck with that.
He's the first guy, right? Is he the first guy off the court if this game fully blows out? I feel like he might be.
I think so. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Okay. We have 8 games to get through. We got crunch time coming in about 45 minutes or so. Anything else as far as Charlotte, New York? We very much like the New York side. Rozier, you can certainly run it back. Somebody in chat said only play Randall. Don't ignore Brunson. Brunson's really good too, and don't ignore Quickly. That's sort of where I'm at. Anything else, or we're moving on?
I think Quickly is there's a little bit more variance to the play, but I think let's move on. Those two are like anchors tonight, Brunson and Randall for me.
I bet his alt points Quickly. I feel like there's a chance like he puts up 20 or 30.
No, there is a chance. There's a like we said, like that's what I've been wrestling with is like, will they let him stay out there and just because he gets buckets, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
except when I played him against the Celtics. Worst player
well, your
I've
Celtics,
ever
your
seen.
Celtics are gutless.
You know who else is gutless? Jordan Poole is gutless. He you know what rostering Jordan Poole does? You get to watch his game, you get to watch him closely, you get to realize how awful he is at basketball. It's just crazy.
He's good for a gift every game. Every game he's giving you a new gift.
He got paid. Yeah.
Good for him, man. Good for him. Yeah. Atlanta and Cleveland, big boy total for a Cleveland game, 237.5. Cleveland is a 4-point favorite here versus Atlanta. Atlanta is technically, mathematically alive in this, in-season tournament stuff. And by the way, it doesn't mean these teams aren't going to try. It's just like a regular season. They want to win, right? Atlanta certainly wants to win a basketball game, but they're not going anywhere in season-wise. It's like 19 things happen for them. Cleveland is also both these teams. I kind of like put it in different columns. They're both technically alive, but they both need miracles. So it's basically just like a standard basketball game. with no implications. But it is, pretty big total here as far as who's in and who's out on the Atlanta side. Jalen Johnson, he's going to be gone a while, unfortunately. I don't know if there's one clear benefactor, but I would say like Sadiq Bey, Bogdanovich, and Hunter, like all three of them would get, at least mini bumps, but I don't think there's one clear guy. It's like, well, we got to smash this guy now. Cleveland, it's just Dean Wade. Everybody else is good to go. I like this game up in pace for Jared Allen, who's been much better. He's kind of working himself into shape. Did not start the season with the team. He's looked really, really good of late. It's a great Mobley spot, in my opinion. Mitchell theoretically can get loose. He came back from injury and he wasn't very good. He missed a ton of shots. Can't remember who he played against, but it was somebody that has a good on-ball defender. And I didn't watch that game, but I feel like that's part of the reason why he wasn't very good. But certainly you can go back to Mitchell. He's just certainly he's going to cost you. He's very, very pricey. Ownership-wise on the Cleveland side, looks like Garland getting the most, 26%, Mobley 17, Allen 15, Mitchell 6. So, he's pricey, but you're going to be kind of on an island. Cavs versus Atlanta. What do you got?
I'm going to derail the show quickly for a second to Michael Dampier. He wishes DeAndre Jordan was gutless. He gutted, he said last night. Well, I want to plug the NBA Discord where we were talking about before everything shook out that it was going to be a mistake to fade Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan, that they were gonna go off together.
Double revenge.
Against their own team. So just a little plug to Yappy Cappy and the whole crew in there, Rupster, all those guys. Anyways, okay, Atlanta, Cleveland. I don't really have much interest in this game in general. I think I'd rather spend money from our higher. I think obviously playing Atlanta is good for the pace standpoint, but all these guys are healthy. There's a lot of body, like Donovan Mitchell would probably be the main guy, but I'd rather pay for some of these other guys that I think are in spots where they have even higher minutes upside and higher ceilings. So I'm just kind of avoiding. If you want to do it, sure. Trey, sure. Donovan Mitchell, sure. Jared Allen finally is starting to ball again, is looking better. Darius Garland, just from a price standpoint, but you can skip this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same spot. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody they can't play Donovan Mitchell. Of course, he could put 40 points in that bucket. Wouldn't shock any of us. But I do agree with the thought process of the minutes thing, right? Randall, Brunson, Tatum, Şengün, all those guys I think can play 39, 40 minutes tonight. And it's not outrageous to think that's possible. And I guess Mitchell can too. We've seen him do that also. But there's no reason why Cleveland should be motivated to elevate his minutes. He's going to play 36 according to our projections, so he certainly might get close to that. And the matchup is good too. But I dollar for dollar, Garland's a better play at 7-2. I love Mobley. I don't know if he's going to fit my main bill, but I'm perfectly fine landing on him if that's the money I have. And same deal with Allen. I'm good landing at both those guys. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it ever will, if Atlanta ever rolls out the old double Okongwu Capella lineup, it might be against this Cleveland team with their bigs. I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe. It's happened a few times this year. I was looking at it, the old court IQ, 2 minutes in total, but I think it's just single possessions, end of quarter stuff. So if they've never actually ran those guys in the flow of a game. You poo-pooed Atlanta, right?
I could see that, yeah. And someone in chat mentioned how Atlanta is rough against centers, and that's true. They go up the fourth most fantasy points to two centers. So
that's a pace thing mostly.
Yeah, exactly. But that's also a little bit of a bump for So that would make me like Jared Allen just because of his price is cheap. You know what I mean? So he would be if you need him and to get some of these other guys that we like so much, then I'm totally fine with using Jared Allen tonight.
I see. Sorry, I had an issue there with my mic for a second. My apologies. Johnny Johnson in the chat. Shout out Johnny. Johnny saying Garland over Mitchell is crazy, and this is where I have to say, I got to remind everybody just in case you forget. What is it, Kurt? What am I going to say? Pull the string in the back of my neck. What is it going to say?
We live in a world of salary cap.
Thank you. Of course, Mitchell's better than Garland. I know this. Yeah, we all know this, but like, salary is a thing. And I'm thinking dollar.
My boy Herbert Good put the mush on. Allen is my boy, he said.
Oh boy. That's not. Is that going to change things?
Just want to warn people.
Is he a mush?
Unless Herb, you running better these days, Herb? Tell us, are you running better?
Is Herbert in the secret chat? Does he have secret chat privileges?
Wow, we gotta hook this guy up, Dean.
Who's that?
Sean. He's got just a couple. He's got to get back to his jail cell Wi-Fi.
Oh wow!
So he needs an answer quickly. He wants to know
what's the question.
GPP $5,200 point guard.
Okay. This does demand priority. Hold on a second. $5,200 point.
We're a man of the people on this show. We're gonna do the best. We're a man of the people. That could be fine. Point guard.
Did you see the guy? Jeez. You see the clip of the guy on the phone, like the giving like football winners? He was like 11.
I saw the original one. I follow him. I love it. I loved when he was like.
It was incredible.
When he gave like the 6-leg parlay, and he hit. Now he's got a Telegram group, but all right. Let's see. So 5-2 or less.
Lowry is kind of the answer. I don't like that answer, but it's kind of Lowry. If you can do better than that, I don't love it, but that's the best I can do. 5-2.
You know what? It's too bad. Holly. I was gonna say maybe Peyton Pritchard, but no, it's too deep for you. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We're trying our best here, my man. Hope you're doing well out there, Kyle Lowry. Let's go for our boy.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Toronto, the Raptors. The Raptors are taking on Brooklyn. Implications again, Toronto, 0 implications. They're officially knocked out of the tournament. Brooklyn's got to win, and they need help. So they will be motivated for sure. Body parts, who is in, who is out as far as this game. We have, let's see, on the Toronto side, I'm scrolling. Oh, they're fine. Okay, that's why I couldn't find them. Both these teams, it looks like, are pretty healthy with the exception of Cam Thomas. No Cam Thomas on the Brooklyn side. Oh, DSJ was also ruled out too. Ben Simmons has been gone for a while, so nothing new there. I'm giving a refresh on Lineup HQ to see if we got anything updated. Want to give the most up-to-date information if possible. We did get an ownership update at 617. Cool. And 610, we got an update as far as projections as well. This game is not going to be very popular. Biggest ownership here we're seeing is 12% on Cam Johnson, 11% on Dinwiddie. Pirtle at 9%. I can't imagine playing Pirtle. Yeah, I don't like this game. Talk me into something here because I'm not on it. I'm not saying you can't play it. There's some pieces for sure, but no priorities. What do you got?
Well, Brooklyn needs to win this game, right?
Yeah, they need help, but yes, they're trying.
Yeah, and I think they affect the Celtics if I'm right. But regardless, so for my Yahoo people, there's Bridges and Dinwiddie are both popping. So, and that makes the most sense. Like those are the key scorers for this team. And Dinwiddie's cheaper. Bridges might get Anunoby on him, but I think they both have a good minute ceiling with needing this game. So that's the thing is we're like, if these teams are playing this like it's playoffs, like we're looking at like playoff NBA rosters where like high minutes ceiling are the starters and the key second unit, and then back to the starters. So you just gotta hope that some of these projections are wrong on these minutes and uptick some of these guys, and they look like much better plays. So Mikal Bridges and Spencer Dinwiddie are two of my guys. Maybe we can play Nick Claxton, and I don't have any interest on any of these guys in Toronto.
Yeah, Claxton I guess is fine, right? He was questionable, and I see in chats Byron's asking about it's a Byron, my apologies. Lonnie Walker. Nobody's playing Lonnie Walker. I can't imagine paying 6.3 for Lonnie Walker. Is he like cheaper on FanDuel? Is it a FanDuel question maybe? Because 6.3 Lonnie Walker seems outrageous. Okay, so he's 5K on FanDuel, which is a little more tolerable. So like large field stuff on FanDuel, no chance in the world on DK is where I'm at. By the way,
DK is one of the worst RG values on the slate.
Yeah, it's a bad play. So Brooklyn's got to win, and Boston has to lose to get in. Is Boston going to lose? Probably not. Probably not. The other route is they got to win, and they got to be tiebreakers over Boston and Orlando. And I'm pretty sure they're not positioned very well. I don't have that in front of me as far as the point differential in front of me, but I think they're behind. So that's why I say Brooklyn is basically, they're kind of out. But, they got a chance. They got a chance. Like Boston, if they blow out their opponent tonight, they blow out Chicago, which they certainly can, then Brooklyn's gone. They're going away. Let's move on. Again, 5 of the 8 games. 5 of the 8 games start 7:30. Up next is my Miami Heat taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. They are 228 is the total. They're 4-point dogs here. We saw Jimmy Butler was ruled out in this game. Not just Jimmy Butler, but Duncan Robinson's available with his thumb. Adebayo's got the hip. He's good to go. Hero, of course, is still out. And Highsmith is Highsmith available, or is he? Did we get an official ruling on Highsmith? That I missed that one? I feel like I might have. What do we officially have on
Highsmith's
Highsmith?
out.
Okay.
Highsmith's out. I think that's why they're all popping, right? Like, I think they're
well, Jimmy being out was the big one.
Yeah, but I think this also adds to it, which makes them like we're getting a ton of heat and optimal stuff. Yep, Highsmith is out. Okay.
So we're giving 34 minutes to Duncan Robinson, 34 to Bam. Jaime Jaquez, we're presuming he's going to start and play 32 minutes. Caleb Martin, 30 minutes. Richardson, 32. Martin probably gets thrown on Giannis. I don't know if he's going to start or not. There was a note that Spo said that he probably played Martin too many minutes last time out, but they kind of need him, and they kind of need him to throw. They need to throw him on Giannis. It's probably their best. I don't want to say Giannis stopper, but they'll do the best to subdue. But yeah, it's essentially going to be 6 main guys with Lowry as well playing 30 minutes. 6 guys playing 30 plus is our current projection.
Man, the pressure is on. What if Lowry doesn't come through? He breaks out. He runs to your door, Dean, because you messed you messed with my man who just you gave him the wrong play.
Well, there wasn't really. It was a bad question. Like I don't say it was a bad question. It was an unanswerable question. It was uncomfortable. There's no comfortable answer. So did I say it with confidence, Kyle Lowry? And I think you agreed because you tell me who he should have played, if not Kyle Lowry, with 5-2 left on Fanduel at point guard and point guard only. The pool is
I passed it off to you like a pro.
That was a smart move. So sharp for sure. Bam is expensive. Like he's taken a step forward this year. It's kind of hard to pay off that price on DK. 7% is his ownership, right? We currently have him as like the 7th highest owned player on Miami, which is kind of wild. Jaime Jaquez might be one of the most popular players in the slate, currently 33% on DK. I am floored. I look, Jamal Cain is getting 30% ownership. I can't imagine that's where it's going to settle. I don't see that happening. We are giving him 22 minutes and like a 16-point projection. He's 3K floor. I assume he's not somebody really on FanDuel, just kind of the way salaries work. But I mean, that is super, super thin. And I understand what's happening. Probably you're just sort of, it helps you get to the big spends. But Kane is pretty uncomfortable to me. They like him, and he's been developing well. And I know he's been playing good in the G League, but I don't feel good about that one at all. Yeah, but I feel good about Jaquez. I think Jaquez is like a player, and he's the next guy. And he's the next Heat culture guy. He fits right in. Yeah, what do you got as far as Miami, and then jump over to Milwaukee, which, is always basically the same.
Yeah. Jamal Cain does seem rough, but I get it. It's a 3K price. It's Caleb Martin. It's Jaquez. It's Josh Richardson. It's Kyle Lowry. Bam is going to be a spend for a lot of people tonight, depending on what site. Wow, Kevin Love is going to get ownership too. Yeah, the Miami stuff is. I don't like what's in it. I don't like it. Love's fine, but how many minutes can they play Love? Right, is sort of the question. Like, is it just play Lowry, Martin, and Jaquez, and try to get out?
Love at 4K. It's got a 18-minute projection. He's a little bit over a fantasy point per minute, so 20 fantasy points is what he's getting. Again, pretty thin. I like Duncan Robinson on FanDuel. He's 6'2" on DK. That's hard for me to get to, but I was looking at him earlier today. He's like 5'4" or 5'6" on FanDuel. I don't have that in front of me, but no 3-point bonus.
Duncan's in my he's in my Yahoo for the Yahoo people.
Was he like $12 on Yahoo? How much is he on Yahoo?
15.
Okay, I figured it'd be pretty cheap. How about Milwaukee?
I told you my story with him. He played in a tournament right down the street. I watched where they play for cash, like in the summertime, so where they ball. I'm like,
is this when he was on Michigan or when he was playing in the NBA?
No, it was before Michigan, and everyone was like, "This." He was so nasty, and I was like, "This guy is so good." And they're like, "Yeah, he's gonna go colleges. A lot of colleges are after him."
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Fun fact.
I mean, it's a fact. It's question. It's subjective.
Well, it's fun for me, like seeing him in the NBA, and I was like, I have video of him on like a playground, and he's doing it for like $500,
Yeah, and now
they brought him in from like New Hampshire or Maine. He's from New Hampshire or Maine, one of those, and they brought him in.
He was a D3 guy, and then he transferred to Michigan. He might have been a walk-on or something.
I'm just saying where he's from originally.
Oh, I don't know. I know he's got a podcast, or at least he did have a podcast that was fairly popular. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but everybody's got a podcast these days. Milwaukee, no Crowder. Middleton expected to play. He was pretty chalky last time he exited the game, burned a lot of people. I ran after seeing his minutes increase too. We're giving him 25 for what it's worth. It's Giannis or bust, and you're probably not playing Giannis because he's pretty expensive and the matchup's not great, but you always can play Giannis. You have a buck you like?
Giannis. That's it. I don't have any interest in any of the other guys.
But you're making one lineup. You're not playing Giannis.
No, probably not. But if I decide to and change my mind, I'm like fine. Like he would be the one guy I would like try to fit in. But no,
you reserve the right to change your mind
from a pace standpoint. How many minutes are we giving Middleton at this point?
25.
Yeah. Forget that.
I mean, he left. It's still kind of the ramp up. He got hurt in a game. He might have got ramped up, or at least he took the next level. I suppose it was ramp up, and then he had a bit of a setback. And I guess it wasn't too severe, but he could not come back in that game. Okay, let's move on and power through. We'll talk about the Bulls. The Bulls and your Celtics. 220 is the total. Boston is a 14-point favorite. And I feel like these books are artificially pumping these lines up a little bit because people are on to the tournament. Like the New York one. New York was like, 13, 12.5-point favorite for Charlotte. Yeah, I think it opened.
In all honesty, the sharp thing is probably taking unders on all these people after all people like us have bet these lines up and we don't even care. We haven't even looked. We're just like, oh, they gotta score more points. Okay, I'll take over. Well,
like Boston can beat Chicago like 115-85 and have a 30-point differential. Like that could happen. Like that's not an outrageous thing that can happen here. Chicago's pretty terrible. Boston has a really good defense. And 30 points is probably enough to get the job done for him. Who's in and who's out as far as Boston? Well, Holiday was ruled in. White was ruled in. We know Porzingis is out. We're expecting Horford to jump in and start for him. The Bulls, both Levine and Caruso were cleared, so they are fully healthy for the first time. I would say I was going to say first time in a while, but they're fully healthy. We love Boston. What did we give our minutes? Do we artificially pump up? We gave Tatum 38, so I think there's a little artificial pumping there. Right? It feels like he wouldn't necessarily project for 38, maybe 36, maybe 37, but we give him 38. Love him. Not a lot of ownership either, because again, he's expensive, and this is why I'm guessing you prefer different position, but like Tatum over Mitchell. If you're going to spend up a tick more, and I think Tatum is a little bit more upside than Mitchell tonight. You talk about your C's because, we expect Tatum, Brown, Holiday, White, Horford all to play 30 plus. Pretty tight as well with Hauser and Pritchard, basically the only bodies coming off the bench. Yeah. Celtics, go.
So Tatum was interviewed after Orlando ran up the score on them, and he was like he took that really badly. And he was saying, but he was like basically saying that he wouldn't do that, you know. So now he's put in the exact opposite position tonight. Like, you know, they're the exact same position, but he's already on record. So like, I am kind of worried about it a little bit, but I think when it comes down to it, now he's gonna it's gonna give him more motivation to just run up the score. They all know it. The media's been talking about it. They've all talked about that. They're aware. So it's just the key guys. You know, I think Tatum's minute ceiling and point ceiling is as high as it ever is, even though the matchup kind of stinks against the Bulls from a pace standpoint. But so I expect him to go off. Like I said, I've been betting his overs all day. I've been parlaying single game parlays, with also parlays with a bunch of other players. I also like Jalen. I actually like Jalen even a little bit more just because of matchup related. You'll know from the beginning if Jalen gets going from the beginning, then it's just going to be Jalen is going to go off. Like you know that. And if the worst thing he can do if he starts missing, then it's going to be Tatum. But I like both of them in this situation. I also like Derek White. I bet his over. I bet Al Horford's over, and that was it.
We need Coach Missoula to do the old Karate Kid, like sweep the leg, man. Show no mercy. I'm hopeful he's going to do that. Did Tatum complain like DeRozan? DeRozan was like he took it hard, like they smashed us at the end, like they shouldn't dunk on our faces when it's a 20-point, Yeah,
it was exactly like that. Tatum was pissed.
Well, maybe look, pay it forward, Tatum. Pay it forward. Chicago, they got it coming. Do you want to talk about any Bulls? Is there any Bulls you want to talk about? If you want to tell yourself a story, Andre Drummond doesn't seem completely crazy. If you think Boston's going to completely shellac this Chicago team, maybe Drummond gets an extra run in a mopping situation. And, he's going to play his 13, 14 minutes as is. But, it's a big slate. I'm just
what I worry about most is if they do get the blowout first half and in the end of the third quarter, if the team's already waving, like Chicago's waving, are they still going to leave Tatum and Brown out there to play against a bunch of scrubs? Or even in the fourth quarter?
Sweep the leg, man. Sweep the leg.
I know. It's so out of character. You know what I mean?
Well, this tournament's out of character. It's a brand new tournament, and we got to set.
I get it. I agree.
This is how the rules should be established.
And if it was me, I would do it. I'd be I want to get Paul. I want to get all you guys 500,000. I'd go down the. You know what I mean? And if I was on their bench, I would say the same thing. Come on, coach, get me the money.
All right. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games down, 3 games on layaway. That is all the 7:30 games that are done. Again, 5 of the 8 games start at 7:30. Do want to mention this is not for basketball just yet, but the beta version of our new NFL lineup building tool, SimLabs. It is here. We're just added Fanduel as well. It was just DraftKings from the start. Now we have Fanduel compatibility for single game slates. Use SimLabs to generate DFS lineups with the power of simulation. What does it work? How does it work? What is it doing? We're doing the combination of data from every aspect of the slate to churn out lineups that match your preferences. Just a few clicks. You have hundreds of well-built correlated lineups ready to build whatever contest type you're playing. Be sure to check out the link in our description for more information while we're still free and in beta. And while I'm here, let's talk about the props and pick'em package. Check out the brand new props and pick'em package. That is a lot of P's for a limited time discount. The experts here at RG, the projection team, what they do is they take our premium stats, they comb through the market, and they look for any inefficiencies through mid-November. NBA, NFL, NHL, they're actually up 38 units currently. That is the expert picks. Using the model, you can easily see which lines are off, where to find them, and how likely the prop is to hit based on the tool. Check out that link in the description as well. It'll basically tell you if you're playing underdog, you're playing on prize picks, wherever you're playing. It'll list, this one's got a 70% chance of going over or under, 69, 68, and it'll just put them in order for you. The ones that are most likely to hit mathematically. It's really, really dummy proof. If you want a little, want to work in the prop streets, you don't have sportsbook stuff. You're tired of DFS for the night, whatever it is. Okay, I have to cough. Hold on.
I've got a great marketing idea.
Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in because I had to. What's your idea?
Take a drink. Get a drink. You sound parched.
Oh, yeah. A lot of P's, a lot of words. Go ahead.
I think a company needs to step up and be like, scores and odds, the quickest way to get limited on this book, on this book, on this book.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Andy Means could be on it, you know.
Andy has definitely gone on his rants. It's frustrating. I'm walking the tightrope here in Florida because we have one book and one book only. It's a monopoly. So,
I've talked about this with you that like I have to do that too, just because like to me, getting limited would be the worst. I am limited on like some sites, but like
you're not Russell Wilson.
Sites, like getting limited.
He's unlimited.
On all sites, like losing my way to like gamble would just be like it would just make I'd be walking around like that gif, you know, like, all day, every day, like kind of like how Alan Lem feels about like when he sees me hit 500K crowns each week, and then he pays. He's watching from the outside. Did you see his?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's right. You keep hitting double. You're hitting a lot of crowns these days, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not that guy, but you're a Boston guy. You may know some people over at DraftKings. People are saying. That's all I'm saying.
Are they? Or is that you saying? Are people saying, or is it just you saying?
The way I've seen it work, you just got to say people are saying, and they get
people want to know. People want to know. People want to know.
A lot of people are asking. Okay, 3 more games.
So and I agree. It's the worst. I have if you want to check my phone messages, I have so many texts to Agar saying, please stop this goddamn promotion. All it does is cause me pain every single week. I have to watch Shrek or some other rich DFS guy who's already crushing. It'd be like TJ hitting 1 million crowns this week. Like nothing would be worse, like after he's up, after his week.
What's the Canadian version of crowns? Is it just straight crowns? I don't know. I'm not really sure how they convert that. But hey, let's talk about the games that are not starting at 7:30. We got 3. We got to power through them before TJ comes in, as well as Keith Eyster. You got Kevin Roth as well. OKC is in Minnesota. What is the implication? OKC is out of the tournament. Minnesota, they got to win, and they need help. Golden State rooting hard for OKC. Golden State's got to win, and they need Minnesota to lose. 229 is the total. Minnesota is a 3-point favorite. Who is in? Who is out? We are getting back for OKC. Jalen Williams is back. He's off the injury report. Nothing new in Minnesota. Just Jaden McDaniels is still out. McLaughlin doesn't really matter. As far as ownership in this game, OKC and Minnesota, it is not much going on. You can play Ant-Man. Edwards is getting 12, 13%. He's another guy that can just put 40 points in the bucket. Sure, why not? SGA is fabulous. I don't really want to pick on this Minnesota defense. If he fully smashes, I probably am not going to have him. So love SGA, but not tonight. This game is not one of my favorites on the slate, and I think I'm going to be mostly ignoring it. But certainly there are some pieces. What do you got?
Well, Minnesota needs this game, right?
Yeah. Well, I just read it off. Minnesota's got to win, but they also need help. So if you want to know the official, like how much help or how likely it is, they got to win. They need Sacramento to lose, and then they got to beat the tiebreaker over Sacramento and Golden State. So, I mean, they're motivated to win. It's just whatever. It's a regular season game, if nothing else. They're trying, but what really stands out?
I think they're going to be motivated. I think Kat and Anthony Edwards as the 2 studs and are both strong plays tonight. I would feel a little bit less comfortable about playing them together than someone like I would like Randall and Brunson, but I certainly like each of them. I especially on like FanDuel for Kat and Yahoo for Kat, and Edwards is fine on all sites too as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not saying Edwards is somebody I wouldn't play, but I just don't want to like give like a, hey, you can play this guy, and of course you can play him. Everybody, the people are smart enough; they know they can play Edwards. It's just he's not.
But we're saying like I know, but I'm saying like we're saying like games to avoid. I'm not avoiding this. Like I'm good with Kat and Edwards tonight.
Yeah,
I like them. I like them. Yeah.
I like this game more than Toronto Brooklyn. I'll say that.
I like Brooklyn too. I like Brooklyn guys. So we're off a little bit.
There's 8 games tonight. What games don't you like?
I like the studs in these games on the teams that need to win. I like the studs, and that's so I like.
So you like every game?
I like the scorer. No, not every game. I gave you my 5 teams: Boston, Knicks, Minnesota, Houston, Brooklyn. Those 5 teams are where I'm focusing on tonight. And then you got the Heat for value. But
anything else you want to say as far as Minnesota?
No, but with that attitude, I see why you aren't getting the crowns. I get.
You got to be polite.
I might have to send a couple messages. I might have to send a couple messages. Make sure.
Oh boy, they're going to take away 10,000 crowns, 20,000 crowns next time for me.
You'll be getting 5,000 this week out of nowhere. It'll say.
I don't want to go on a rant, but I was saving my crowns all season long because. Remember Black Friday
sale last year? Deal? Is that true or so?
Black Friday's over.
I use my crowns. I try to limit my losses with them, but I get. Yeah. I mean, I'm contrarian in that way. Like,
is it true if you don't use it? You use it? All right, Houston versus Dallas. This one, Houston wins. They are in. They move on. They are fully motivated to win this game here in Dallas. I bet them last night getting like 5.5 or so. I think it's down to like 4 or 3.5. So I got closing line value, if nothing else.
Well, CLV.
Yeah, there you go. How much is that worth? Shout out Slansky.
Slansky, yeah. So you only know that from us referencing that since you weren't a poker player, right?
I know the reference, like getting your money in smart in poker. Yeah,
but the first time you heard it probably from like people who came to this industry from poker, and you were like, "What's that?" And then you researched it, right? Like you didn't.
And I adapt, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I dabbled in poker, but I was not a professional poker player. I'm like a break-even poker player, basically.
Yeah, you ran from the Corona Poker Club. You want to know.
I was never even in it. I never even broke my cherry.
You were in the Discord and you were lurking, spying.
No, I was not lurking.
People say you were spying. People say
a lot of people were saying that. I guess there's no defending that. TJ in chat saying I've been angry all week.
TJ, come on in. Let's get TJ up here. I'm one of the most negative people probably on RG, and it's really rubbing me the wrong way. But should tell you something.
Houston versus Dallas, 228 is the total here. 3.5 point dog. This is story time again. Like Indiana, I think is thrilled to be in the tournament. I think Houston would love to be in the tournament. I think they would love to be in the tournament. More so than most any other team. And if they win, they're in. This is a team on the rise. A lot of young pieces. They have not been relevant since the White Bronco and OJ. Like that was the last time I feel like they've been relevant. If you remember now, if you want a fun fact, here's story time.
They've been relevant. They were relevant after that.
Well, I was just thinking of. Do you remember this? Like in 1994, I want to say it was 1994, where the Knicks were playing Houston in the finals, the NBA finals, and the NBC put a split screen on the TV, a split screen on the TV. Half of it was the NBA finals, and half of it was watching a White Bronco. That's how, yeah. But they've been relevant since.
But who was on it? Was that
yeah?
Who was on
that was the broadcast.
Who was on the Houston team then?
Was it like
Shane Battier? Shane Battier? Was he? No, but he was on Portland, the Blazers. He went to Houston, Drexler.
Well, Drexler and Barkley and somebody else, Pippen. No, that team didn't work out though. Who was on that Houston team? I don't know. If only we had a machine we can type these questions into. Who's got time? Was Olajuwon on that team? Maybe. I think Olajuwon was done by then. I might be wrong. Doesn't matter. Hey, we care about tonight and tonight only. We don't care about 37 years ago. 228.5 is the total here. Houston versus Dallas. The argument here that I'm starting to make, and I think you're on board, is that like Şengün could play 37, 38, 39 minutes here. FEV could play 40 or 41. I really think they want this game. We're projecting 39 for FEV because wherever he goes, that's how many minutes he plays. I love those two guys tonight. Really, really like Şengün. So does the field. He's getting 25% ownership. Jalen Green's getting 22%. FEV's getting 29%. They're not really hiding. Their rotation's going to be really tight. Jumping to the Dallas side, nobody's going to get played. Like nobody. And the same old story. You can play Luka if you want to play Luka. Houston plays great defense. He's expensive. Can he smash? Can he get there? Sure, I suppose. But I'm not playing him. I saw people in the Discord talking about Grant Williams, and that feels really thin. But I guess if you think he's going to make 3 or 4 threes, he can get there. Rockets, Dallas, go.
I'm too busy having fun with chat, talking about Sam Cassell, the most handsome man to ever grace an NBA court.
Sam Cassell was on the team. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And Robert Horry.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Şengün, one of the best plays on the slate tonight, in my opinion. Fred VanVleet, one of the highest minute upsides on the ceiling, minute ceiling upside on the slate. Jalen Green stinks away from home. Jabari Smith, I like a lot. And that's pretty much it. Dylan Brooks is going to Dylan Brooks.
It was Olajuwon versus Ewing. That was the year, I believe, Jordan. Well, if you want to have conspiracies, there's a reason why he wasn't playing that year, but we don't have time for that thing. He did not play basketball that year. The last game in the slate, it starts 2 hours, or I guess an hour and a half, right? After this game. So it's just kind of all by itself. It's high, it's tight, it's got implications for the play-in nonsense. I shouldn't say nonsense.
It's got great players. It has a top 5 NBA scorer.
Steph Curry and who else?
De'Aaron Fox is the 5th highest points per game in the NBA right now. Top 5.
Okay, but that's
interesting.
You're moving the goalpost. This is a reference to you saying he's a top 5 player.
No, scorer.
No, you said he was a top 5 player. You didn't say top 5 scorer.
Scorer. I always said scorer.
Check the tape, Steve. Where's producer Steve when you need him? Check the tape. You said whatever. We don't have time for this. Golden State. And the other thing about this game is it's not going to be that owned, right? Because Fox is expensive. Sabonis is expensive. We are expecting, Draymond. Draymond's going to be back. Probably not really a minutes limit there for Draymond. Back from choking suspension.
See, look at chat knows. Chat knows. He said scorer, Dean. He said score. The two. Keep them coming. Everybody 7 Dean. Everybody take my side because you all know it's true.
No. And TJ said just now. You said score. Of course you said it just now. You moved the goalpost 3 weeks ago.
I said it
when you said Fox was a top 5 player. You said top 5 player. That's what drew out this vigor. I guess my anger. I suppose I've been angry retroactive to that moment as well. We have TJ and Keith and Roth coming on soon. But Golden State, Sacramento, it is interesting. Sacramento, that's another one of those teams. They want to win. They want to win this. They're a team on the rise. They made a trade a lot of people are, critical of. Their team's been better, of course. But, the Kings win. They're in the play-in stuff. Golden State needs to win, and they need Minnesota to lose. Minnesota, they'll know if they lost pretty quickly into this game. But there's another route, I think, but it's pretty thin. Are we stacking this game? Because this is a scary game to not have any pieces of. But also nothing pops from points per dollar projection stuff if you want to do that. What do you like as far as Golden State and Sacramento?
It's so to me, like I've said this a million times, like I'm playing this slate like it's NBA playoffs. So I'm focusing on like the studs and then like only like the value to get my studs. But you can make a good case for GPP play with like Fox and Curry. It's going to be absolutely unowned, I think. That combo. Sabonis usually is priced kind of high. He's usually struggles with Looney. And so I would just focus on like Fox, and I mean Harrison Barnes is a good value on some sites potentially.
He's so bad.
I shouldn't say good value. He's a value.
Yeah.
You don't quite know. Remember he scored like 41 points like opening night or something like in the.
Yes.
Like
was that this year?
Yeah.
It might have been this year.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. In the first half, he had like 30 points.
I was like, he's back. Like.
But otherwise, it's been. Monk is kind of interesting, but I think their starters are going to play a ton of minutes. Maybe we see Monk close. I don't know. Trey Lyles is going to look like possibly a decent math play, but he's priced up. He's center and center only. and his minutes are really, really thin. Fox and Sabonis look really good, but like, can we afford them? I don't know. And Golden State, now we got Draymond coming back. Like, it's going to be a squeeze on a lot of guys, a little baby squeezes here and there. Not really going to hurt Steph. Might even help Steph. But not that you're considering like Kevon Looney, but it's not going to help Looney. It's not going to help Zwarych. Those guys go away or become really hard to play. But yeah, nobody's getting ownership here. Clay on Fanduel still pretty cheap. On DK 5.9.
Right. Clay's working his way back. He's had rolling off a couple of good games. Does anyone remember the game when he like broke a record against Sacramento?
Third quarter against Sacramento.
Yeah.
But now he's looking like. Remember you ever see the fake Clay, the guy who snuck into the building and pretended he was Clay?
Yeah, I've seen that. Phenomenal.
They might have did a switcheroo on it. So
I love that. I love that when like the fake Andy Reid's like. I'm all for that.
I think that guy got kicked out of the building forever, but it was probably worth it, right? He got some clout online. But yeah, it looks pretty legit. And then now he's playing. It's like Bizarro clip. They did like a Freaky Friday switcheroo or something. The
best was when the guy got onto the court on the Pelicans and they were feeding him balls and he was shooting shots because he had the sweatshirt and the wind. He had the sweatshirt and the wind pants, and then they realized and they came and they threw him out.
We got crunch time coming in. Myself and Kirkwood, we got lineups to make. Roth, what's going on? TJ, what's going on? Keith, what's going on? The in-season tournament it gets completed tonight. I'm excited for it. I really am. I hope I think there's a bit of an edge. I'm sure you guys will touch on it as well. But Roth, do you want to say hello? I took my L on the Brogdon call yesterday. You could have won some Dean bucks if you actually made a wager with me. I was wrong.
How many minutes? What did he get?
Like 36 minutes.
He played like 30.
They're trying to kill the guy.
Yeah.
The
he could have played more.
They're actively trying to kill their team. I don't know what they're doing.
But they've already sent the message. They've already done this multiple times, and we keep saying, "Oh, I think this time it would make sense for them to rest Brogdon." But they've already made it insanely clear that they're just not doing that.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about him. They're gonna run him right into the ground.
That's what I tried to tell Dean. It's not about what the smart thing to do is. It's the projection team is projecting based on what the coaches do. And sometimes they're not very smart.
So what you're saying is Dean does not know. Dean does not know better. Is what
that is true. Yes,
I was not, but it's definitely projections team 1, Dean 0.
I took my L. I took it happily. I took it in the Discord. I took it on Twitter. How many times do I have to take the same L over and over? I don't know. But, the funny thing is, like, Brogdon didn't really smash. He was fine, but like you didn't really need him. But he played 36 minutes, which is kind of silly.
Hey, Dean,
give me go ahead.
Before you bounce real quick, can I give you some kudos on your list of it was best Montels, or was it was best Jordans?
Yes.
Right? And when you listed Montel Jordan, I cackled laughing. I was very
This is how we do it.
Yeah.
What's your second favorite Montel Jordan song?
Let's Ride with him,
Whoa!
the Shocker, and Master P.
Dude, you did. Oh, I thought I stumped you. Yeah. Do you have a third just on layaway if you needed it?
I definitely did. I was a big Montel Jordan fan of the day, but off the top of my head, I can't think of a third.
That was incredible. You just walk off the show. You peaked. You're not.
I'm gonna play Let's Ride now. After this, I'm gonna.
It's so good. It's so good. It's about a strip club. Well, it's great.
He does NBA halftime shows. I've seen him like pop up. Like if you have NBA League Pass, you watch the halftime shows. I watch those all the time.
He's no Red Panda.
He's like that.
No Red Panda.
She dropped.
Who's the guy with the dog? Who's the guy with the little dog? Have you seen that one?
Kirkwood, give me who's breaking the slate? I got Şengün. Şengün's gonna triple double.
It's Brunson. It's Brunson, Randall, Tatum, Brown. Take them all on a
9
single
guys
game parlay over. No, just 4.
Okay.
And just put them in a single game parlay on our sponsored FanDuel. And let's go. Overs.
That was Kirkwood. I was Dean. Hit that like. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications. You know when we go live. Roth, you've peaked, but you still have to stick around for another half hour. Take it away.
The third one, and the chat is on this, is it was where to go? Hang on. Oh, let's get it on tonight. That's the third Montel Jordan song that everyone should know. Montel Jordan, not a one-hit wonder, multiple jams. We are not a one-hit wonder here on Crunch Time either, because we have three fantastic people bringing you some content. Well, two bringing you content, me hanging out. We got my guy TJ in the house. What up, TJ?
Doing well. Excited about this slate. It's a pretty fun one. Always enjoyable to get a little in-season tournament action. And ready to dive in.
Okay, very good. We got my guy Keith Eyster, aka the Iceman, in the house. What up, Ice?
Not too much. Fun little slate here. We've got in-season tournament, like TJ said, should see big minutes from the stars, or at least that's kind of what we're expecting. And then some nice value as well. Opening up Jimmy Butler out in Miami is definitely letting us get up to some of those stars.
And this in-season tournament is no fluke, right? Like, they're actively trying harder, would you say? Whether you mean coaches giving guys more minutes or players caring more, it matters, right? Ice, you feel like it does matter?
Yeah, definitely. More so than any other regular season game, for sure. I don't think it's quite the level of the playoffs, especially in the first round here. But like, teams are playing for something tonight. There's money incentives and other incentives. So definitely think that there's a little bit more try hard tonight.
Right. And what's also cool about it is sometimes when certain teams are playing for something, which you see at the end of the year, like one team is making a playoff push, the other team is not. In this case, the other team's playing for something too, because even if they're not in the play-in tournament, they still want to win the damn game because it goes on their record. So in this case, even the team that isn't trying for something is still trying for something, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Catching up on chat. I think we're in a good spot. I think we dive into this content. TJ, I assume you're my cash guy here.
I think Keith is the cash guy.
What?
I'll do some cash.
Very nice. Okay, excellent. Well, let's kind of open it up with like a broad overview, but kind of a brief one because we just listened to Dean and crew. But let me know what you got.
Yeah, definitely. So I mentioned the Miami situation. That's definitely our biggest value spot. Jimmy Butler is out. Tyler Hero remains out. And then Haywood Highsmith also got ruled out. So a little bit of a wrench thrown into how we were planning things with Kevin Love jumping into the starting lineup there. Jaime Jaquez is not in the starting lineup, and he was a core play up until this point. So I still think he plays over 30 minutes. Jaime Jaquez is still a very good play. I doubt Kevin Love plays more than like 20 minutes. We'll see what the projections team puts him in at, but it's going to be a low minutes number for Kevin Love. Jaquez should be playing over 30 here. So still feel good about that. You have Porzingis out in Boston, which is not as impactful. None of these others are really as impactful. LaMelo out in Charlotte, and Keegan Murray
huge.
out.
LaMelo out in Charlotte is a big one.
Yeah, definitely. They have a really tough matchup against the Knicks, though, and Terry Rozier has been out and just came back, so all the pricing is still. They're basically priced as if Rozier is out. Now it's just LaMelo out instead of Rozier out, so not a ton of value there in Charlotte.
I see. Okay, good to know. Well, let's dive into it. We've got 25 minutes until lock here, and I do believe we've got football content right after this. We got a football show that starts at 7:30, so essentially we don't have time to hang around. Let's jump into it. The first question, though, is with Jaquez and Love. So can you go over that a little bit? You mentioned you're still okay with Jaquez, but in cash, is this still a play that you feel great about at this point?
Yeah, I do feel pretty solid about Jaquez getting 30 plus minutes in this spot. I'm just refreshing here and seeing what we've got. Let me see. Love for 24 minutes and Jaquez for 33 minutes. I think I might have adjusted that. 30 minutes on Jaquez now. So I feel really good about him getting 30 minutes still. I would prefer Jaquez in cash over Love, even though he's not starting.
Okay, and in tournaments, TJ, both viable, or does Love not have the minutes upside to get it done? Or I mean, he used to put up massive numbers. Can he still do it?
Yeah, he doesn't have big minutes upside, but he still can put up 30 fantasy points in 20 minutes. And so he's absolutely in play. But Jaquez is my highest owned player. He's my favorite value on the slate. He's my favorite player on the slate. So Jaquez is the guy that I'm going to be all over.
Great. Okay. I just wanted to clear that up because that's, kind of the thing that has changed. Let's dive into the slate in general. FanDuel Cash. This show, by the way, is sponsored by FanDuel. We'll get that read in just a bit. Ice, why don't you let me know what we're doing here?
All right, sounds good. We'll start at the point guard position. I think you're going up for one here, and then probably living in the mid range with Kyle Lowry. He's just 5,200. Mentioned Butler and a couple of other guys out there for Miami. So Kyle Lowry looks really nice. Should play a ton of minutes in this spot. Good matchup against Milwaukee, who's taken a hit on the defensive end, particularly on the perimeter with Drew Holiday now out of town. Fred VanVleet is the other guy I would be looking to spend up for 8K. He's going to play. I mean, 40 minutes would not be a surprise. Median projection of 39 minutes, literal ceiling of like 42 minutes here for Fred VanVleet in this spot. Good matchup against Dallas. So he would be my other priority here. Brunson is in the mix as well. Another team that needs to win tonight. Another guy who plays big minutes and another guy in a great matchup against Charlotte. But I do slightly prefer saving the 200 and going with VanVleet. At the shooting guard position, let's see here. You have Gordon Hayward, who is just too cheap. No LaMelo. He should have a little bit more usage, even with Rozier back in there. I think saving some money with a guy like Malik Monk or Josh Richardson is definitely in play. Richardson should be in line for plenty of minutes here with several guys out in Miami. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, if you need to save a little bit more, is 4,300. Would be the pivot away from Richardson if you need that couple $600 or whatever that is, 700. Small forward position. Jaquez is the guy here, even though he's still coming off the bench. I think very much still cash viable. Even would say that there's upward mobility on those 30 minutes. Like Kevin Love legitimately could play like 18 minutes the entire game, and Jaquez could run out there for 32, 34, and it wouldn't surprise anybody. Duncan Robinson, another Miami guy who should be in for a ton of run in this spot. Again, love the matchup there against Milwaukee. Power forwards, Evan Mobley in a good spot against a very fast-paced Atlanta team. He would be my priority at the position. And then Domantas Sabonis is in a great spot against Golden State. If you're going up for the other position, for the other power forward here, like the matchup there for him. Julius Randle, a guy who should play a ton of minutes. Jarrett Allen in play as well. At the center position, one of my favorite plays on the entire slate, Alperen Şengün against Dallas here. We still have Lively questionable. I believe that's the only Q tag we're still waiting on for the slate. If Lively sits, Dallas is really short on bigs and bigs that can play that can defend the post.
He's in.
Lively is in.
A bit ago. He's in. Yeah.
Okay. Still a very solid matchup for Şengün. Lively is prone to foul trouble as well, and there's just not much behind him. Guys like Rashawn Holmes and Powell just are not going to be able to guard Şengün. So he is definitely the priority here. If you're not going Şengün for some reason, I would go Jarrett Allen.
Okay. Very good. Let's kick it to TJ. I want your tournament thoughts. How are you building kind of zoom out? And then, of course, just tell me your favorite plays as well.
So I have 150 and a single entry on DraftKings today. I'm not playing on FanDuel. It's mostly the same, but there are some price differences as well. But at the point guard position, it's a big three of VanVleet, Doncic, and Brunson that I'd want to get the most of. Those are my three favorite by far. Brunson picking up way lower projected ownership than VanVleet and Garland, and so he would probably be my favorite for a large field tournament. And then as some kind of pivots, I don't mind Green directly off of VanVleet, and then as well you could as getting away from Darius Garland, I really like Donovan Mitchell in tournaments as well. I don't think anybody are going to want to spend all the way up when they have some great options just like $1,000, $1,500 below it. At the shooting guard position, Gordon Hayward is too cheap, but he's also going to be picking up a decent amount of ownership. I love Anthony Edwards for tournaments today. I think and him and Donovan Mitchell are two of my favorite spend up ways to get different on this slate. But Mitchell still at shooting guard projected for 5% ownership. That is one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate because while I like Garland, Mitchell as well. Cleveland's going up against Atlanta. Anytime you get Atlanta, you get Washington, you get the Spurs, or you get Indiana. Those are the four teams that it's like I'm playing those teams against them always. And so there's a few guys on Cleveland picking up heavy ownership, but I like going to the guys that aren't as well. And then my favorite one to run it back with in that game would be Bogdanovic at this small forward shooting guard position. I like his price quite a bit. So you can play him at shooting guard. When you pivot at small forward, you could use him there too. I also don't mind Sadiq Bey at 5,500 on FanDuel. You can use as a run back in that one as well. A lot of the same guys here that I would want to use in at the shooting guard position are available at small forward as well. Duncan Robinson is way cheaper on FanDuel than DraftKings, so I like him there, but I don't really like him on DraftKings. And then mint option, I think, is very interesting. You can play him at small forward or you can play him at power forward. At power forward, everybody's playing Julius Randle. Like, he's projected for over 30%, and we have Brunson for 15%. I would way rather play Brunson even if those were reversed. If it was Brunson 30 and Randle 15, I would rather play Brunson. And so I get Brunson is at a position where the point guard is much stronger and Randle is at power forward where that's a much weaker position. But I still would rather get to Brunson in tournaments. Mobley is fine. Kevin Love, totally okay. Jared Allen, I probably like better than Mobley. You can play him at power forward or center. I would probably want to play him at power forward, and he is one of my favorite plays there at that position. Love the Şengün call. He's going to be highly owned, but I still think that's good chalk. And then somebody else I really like in tournaments is Mitchell Robinson, 5,900, projected for sub 5%. He could get 7 blocks against Charlotte and 10 points, 10 rebounds, 7 blocks, totally break the slate. And so I love getting to some Mitchell Robinson in tournaments on FanDuel.
Okay, good stuff. Ice, I want to kick it over to DK, but first I do have to mention this show is sponsored by FanDuel. Make sure you're taking advantage of all their fantastic bonus offers. If you're not doing it, you're doing it wrong. You bet $5 on any money line, you get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. For new users in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Big shout out to our sponsor. If you're watching this show, you're watching it free, and it is because of FanDuel. So hit them with the thumbs up, not us. Ice, I want to talk DK, and I need help. I need value. And I don't mean like 5K. I need like in the threes. Does that exist? Does that exist? Because I need it.
I mean, it doesn't really exist. I think you want to live in the 4K range with the Miami stuff. Jamal Cain maybe is a 3K guy you could consider. But
Jamal Cain and Andre Drummond, Roth.
There you go.
Done. All right. Walk me through this DK build, Ice.
All right. A lot of similar stuff. Şengün going to be a primary target here, and then Miami value is going to be the theme. But we'll just go through it position by position here, starting at point guard. Van Vliet, again, the priority here, 8,100, a very nice price. Garland would be an option as well. Love that matchup for him, high pace against Atlanta. And then if you need to save money, Kyle Lowry is the guy over here on DK. Also, shooting guard, Josh Richardson at 4,700, in line to play over 30 minutes. Good spot for him here against Milwaukee. Mentioned Jamal Cain. I don't think you need to go down to Jamal Cain in cash anymore. With Kevin Love now starting, I think you find a way to get up to Kevin Love at a forward position rather than going Jamal Cain in cash. It's a really low projection on Cain.
On that note, Keith,
So-
I have a question for you for
Go
my
ahead.
single entry lineup, because that's just something I'm struggling with. Should I go Josh Richardson and Tari Eason, or Jamal Cain and RJ Barrett?
I think I like the first one there. Is Jayshawn Tate is playing, right?
Yeah, I just always like Eason anyways. That's a bit of I got a soft spot for him. For what it's worth, I could go Kevin Love instead at that position as well.
I mean, Love
Which
is the
for single entry, that would be safer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I do like
Love.
the Eason pivot. He's a big per minute guy. I definitely prefer him over Jamal Cain.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch a larger field thing with that team to Eason, and then I'm gonna keep it with Love in the smaller field stuff.
Sounds good.
Continue.
All right. Left off at shooting guard, Josh Richardson, maybe Jamal Cain there, but definitely Richardson. At small forward, like I said, over on FanDuel, Jaquez still in play, even though he's coming off the bench. Caleb Martin, another guy who's been getting quite a few minutes here. I like his price tag at 4,500, and I do think he's cash viable. RJ Barrett in a game that New York needs to win. Great matchup against Charlotte. Power forwards, Kevin Love at just 4K over here on DK. Jaquez has power forward eligibility as well. If you're spending up, it would be Evan Mobley or Julius Randle would be the priorities to go to. And then at the center position, Alperen Şengün would be my first guy in the lineup. Love has center eligibility. Jarrett Allen, I love the price as well on DK, 6,400 here if you're playing two of them.
Nice. That's it. That was quick, man. You zoomed through that.
Pretty straightforward today. Like there's several guys that are just clearly underpriced, like the Miami guys for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. TJ, I kick it to you. And I did hear your recommendations, but I got like roughly 4K left to guy. What's the play? Am I getting some of these 3Kers?
You can do Jamal Cain and Andre Drummond. I'm using them in tournaments today, but at the point guard position, so I am making a couple small hedges, and one of them is I don't have Darius Garland in my single entry, and I love Darius Garland on DraftKings. He's so cheap, and so I just couldn't get him in the team that I liked. I like the team like as a whole so much better without him. And so I'm getting a 50% Darius Garland in my MME setting just to kind of go on a hedge that he's not in my single entry. From there, Lowry, Brunson, Van Vliet, 30-ish% of all of them. So it's like Garland tier 1 for me, Lowry, Brunson, Van Vliet number 2. And then the tournament sprinkles I'm getting because these guys always have stupidly high ceilings regardless of matchup. Luka Doncic, De'Aaron Fox, SGA. Those 3 players I'm still getting in my tournament pool as well. Doncic and Fox are projected for like 2% each, so I'll be 5x on them. And then SGA is at about 6 or 7%, so I'll probably be even with the field. Shooting guard, I'm playing Jamal Cain still. Like, so we talked about a little bit last game of when you're playing some of these last slate, and for what it's worth, it worked out terribly for me. DeAndre Jordan and Reggie Jackson turned back the clock. They looked like their 2015 selves, and they took down the Clippers themselves. And so I didn't get the Peyton Watson and Christian Brown minutes that I was hoping for. But tonight I will be doing something similar. In my single entry, I got a lot of these Miami starters, and then in tournaments, I'm going to get to a lot of Jamal Cain. I don't think he's going to have that crazy high ownership anymore. It was earlier in the day 50%. Then it dropped to 30. Now it's dropped to 20. We only have him projected to play 16 minutes now. He could play anywhere from 16 to 30 minutes, depending on how this game goes, depending on how they run their rotations. So while I agree with Keith, you don't play him in cash, I think he still is a very interesting tournament option because his minutes are going to be volatile. So I'm getting to a lot of him. Josh Richardson, Emmanuel Quickly, Jalen Green. I still love Donovan Mitchell on DraftKings as well. And then Anthony Edwards and Steph Curry are 2 other guys I'm getting to at the shooting guard position. Small forward, Jaime Jaquez is my highest owned player. I don't care that he's not starting. I hope that just lowers his ownership a little bit. He's stupidly underpriced. If he was 7K, I would maybe consider not playing him. I think he's still going to get well over 30 minutes and just get more usage on the second unit now. Speaking of on that second unit, I do still like Caleb Martin. RJ Barrett, totally fine with. We mentioned Tari Eason. Well, I'm not going to play him in that single entry team. I do still love him for MME. He projects for 1% ownership. If he plays 20 minutes, he could 5-6x. If he happens to get 24, 25, 26, he could end up being the best value play on the slate. I always like getting to Tari Eason in my MME builds, so he is there as well. And then turning some low-owned stuff. Jason Tatum, I like. Scotty Barnes, I really like. 3% ownership. I'm getting to him at double the field there as well. Power forward, Jaquez, you can play here. Kevin Love, you can play here, and I don't mind him. I'm getting to about 30-ish% Kevin Love today in my MME builds. Julius Randle is fine. Mobley is fine. You can play Eason here. You can play Barrett here. I don't mind Bay as a run back. Jabari Smith is fine, but this is my least favorite position, and so I'm just getting to a lot of Jaquez and Love and then spreading out the other guys. I saw somebody in chats say, you guys don't like Siakam? I do like Siakam today. I'm getting about 8 to 10% of Siakam in tournaments. Would only play 1 Toronto player per lineup, but he or Barnes, I don't mind getting to whatsoever. At center, Allen is my favorite. Şengün is my second favorite. These are my top guys by far, but I also love Bam Adebayo. Like I don't understand why he's not projecting for some more ownership right now. There's no Jimmy Butler. This is a phenomenal matchup against Milwaukee. They're playing terrible defense and at a really fast pace. And so I love getting Adebayo well overweight as long as everybody else is playing those cheapies. Getting some Sabonis, getting a little Chet Holmgren in tournaments, and then I like Mitch Robinson as well. And the other wildly cheap guy, if you need it, Kevin, I think is Andre Drummond, because
How can I play Andre Drummond? Like, I was just looking, what am I missing there?
he's $3,300. Boston is 12.5 point favorites. And so if he plays his 18 minutes if he gets 18 minutes instead of 12 minutes, 14 minutes, he could have 30 fantasy points. He's a almost 2 fantasy point per minute guy. And so if Boston blows out Chicago, which we don't want to project blowouts, but it's 12.5, it's a 12.5 point spread. So the books kind of are. And Boston typically just smacks teams, and they have to win for a play-in tournament perspective. And the more points
point
they get, the
differential
better.
Point differential is a tiebreaker. And Boston is in the position. They need to win by like 24, 25 points minimum to advance. There's definitely situations out there where teams just will not let off the gas, even in blowouts today.
Okay.
And so if Drummond gets 16 to 18 minutes at 3,300, he could put up totally viable value. If he gets 20, he could break the slate.
Oh, okay. All right. You sold it. You sold it. Sadly, my center and util is full. So that sucks.
Are you using Şengün and Allen? Because that's my single entry too. I got Şengün and Allen.
Şengün, I just have too many guards. I'm doing a Luka build, and I want Luka, Brunson, and get some of the other guys. Okay. Hey, with that, I think it's time to dive into some QQs. If I'm absent-minded for a minute, it's because I'm trying to figure out who to plug into my last 2 spots. So just know that could happen. Let's see what we got here. Scrolling up a little bit, mostly just 90s rap lyrics, and I couldn't love it more in the YouTube chat. So freaking proud of you guys. Let's see what we got going on in the RotoGrinders Discord. Here we go. Ball, Fanduel Cash, Duncan Robinson, or Monk Ice. I've got 3 already.
3 Heat already. I assume that means I do think 4. Yeah, I think Duncan Robinson is who I would go with there. I do think 4 Heat is perfectly fine in cash.
Okay. Carolina guy says, TJ, FanDuel single entry, your favorite low-owned spend up?
Donovan Mitchell.
Supper's Ready says, Şengün is going to bust. I'm going to bust you in the mouth. If you talk bad about my boy, he's not going to. It's Şengün. Come on. No, you're crazy. What else do we have? Any Draymond on FanDuel? TJ, that's a you question, I do believe.
Nope.
Okay. DKGPP, TJ, your boy Gobert or Allen?
Allen.
Gobert. Let's go Bear. Yeah. Oh yeah, Allen by quite a lot, I think. FanDuel Cash, it's a 3v3. This one's coming to you. Ice, you want Miles Bridges, Hayward, and Love. He hit us with a heart emoji, which is nice. Or Monk, J. Rich, and Mobley.
I would go the second one there.
Okay. Smoke and Jay says FanDuel GPP. Ownership on the late hammer is so under-owned. It's the best game environment and total. Curry, Fox, etc. What are your thoughts, TJ? That seems like pretty good thoughts to me.
Yeah, like I definitely like it for GPPs. The one thing I'd say is like everybody is priced appropriately in that game. Like there aren't really any drastic misprices, and so it's not my favorite game, but it absolutely is one of it's great for tournaments.
Yeah, and kind of surrounded by some of those misprices and injury situations, and okay, that makes sense. D-Rock, DKGPP, TJ Miller, or Bogdanovich?
Bogdanovich. Well, if I have other Cleveland players, Bogdanovich. If not, Miller.
Okay. Yep, that's me, says Ice. DK Cash, you want Lowry or quickly last piece? PS, I've already got 3 Heat.
Quickly's a little bit more risky, but I do like his upside better. So I'd go Quickly.
Okay. Jumping into the YouTube chat real quick. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit us with that little thumbs up here. Brian says, favorite Chicago run back to pair with Tatum? Do you need a Chicago run back to pair with Tatum?
None.
I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, I don't think that you do. They could literally lose by 30.
Okay. All right. If you did want to run it back, your favorite?
I would go Kobe White. It was DraftKings.
This was a DKGPP question.
Yeah, Kobe White would be my run back.
Great. Okay. TJ, coming to you for another DK question. This is from CW89 in the YouTube chat. Lowry, Scotty Barnes, or Garland Hayward?
Garland Hayward.
Okay. TJ, can I force you into taking questions or no? Is that rude?
Sure.
Jackson Carr, thank you. I got to figure out two people to plug in. FanDuel GPP in the YouTube, TJ, Bay or Duncan? Bay or Duncan?
Bay.
Okay.
All right. What do we got next here? All right. Quickly for FanDuel, we talked about that. TJ favorite Raptor at Scotty Barn. DK GPP favorite. Oh, we got that one.
Scroll down. Scroll down.
Yeah. Got DK Cash, Keith, Hawkes, Green, and Bogdanovich, or quickly Mobley and Martin.
Second one.
All right. Is Neemias Queta useful in a large field GPP? Allows me to get Şengün, Randall, and Van Vliet. That is not somebody that is in my pool, Keith. You're on the projections team. Can you tell me anything about him?
He did get a little run in the last game. I think it was like 15 minutes. I'm trying to pull it up here quickly. And he did produce like per minute as well. I think you can do worse things with Porzingis still out. It is worth noting Drew was also out in that game, so be careful there. But I don't think I think it's just as viable as the Drummond stuff.
Who was it? What was his name?
Queta, Queta.
You know what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a team that has both Drummond and Queta because I feel like they would correlate really well together. I'll put them in one of my 150s just for you, Rukin Verde.
Let's go.
Hawkes or Robinson, FanDuel single entry, Keith.
In a single entry, Hawkes for sure.
Okongwu or Caleb Martin in a FanDuel GPP. For me, that'd be Caleb Martin.
Same.
FanDuel Cash, Lowry, Middleton, Sabonis, or Brunson, Randall, or a Nah. That has to be the second one by far.
Yep, agree.
I don't think you play Middleton in Cash. I think we have basically caught up on the QQs.
Excellent
We're
job.
good,
Thank you.
We're good.
I got a lineup in, and I basically just I don't know who I played, but I did get a lineup in, and that's what matters. We are very, very close to a lock. Brian says DK GPP util. I mean, that is such an open-ended question. How much money do you have? What's your build? But Ice, what position do you have most in the util? Are you going guard or are you going center?
Center, because I am way over the field on Şengün and Jarrett Allen.
I think those are good players to be over the field.
I didn't get that team in. Sorry, Rukin Verde. I didn't get my team in with I already forgot his name.
Yeah, it's okay. What you did do though is help me out, and I appreciate that. You bit the bullet for me, TJ, and I will forever remember this moment when you stepped up for me. We got one more question: Eason or Finney in a FanDuel GPP?
Eason.
Okay, we're gonna go now. We're gonna put on some Montel Jordan and some Bone Thugs and whatever else you want, and we're gonna go watch some hoops. That is what we're doing tonight. That is what you should be doing tonight as well. So for TJ, for Ice, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We will catch you tomorrow. Have fun.